Greetings fine people, thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Nick and today we're going to be looking at Ghost Hunters on the ZX Spectrum 48K, published by Codemasters in 1987. As we put in our keys here, the Oliver twins are behind this, who made the Dizzy games, so I'm quite looking forward to seeing how this one plays. But essentially you control a central character, you must enter the Nightmare Mansion owned by Professor Twilight and find and release your brother and then escape alive. Now it's for 1 to 2 players. The second player normally would control crosshairs. Ooh, Ghost Hunters, right? See that crosshairs in the middle? By pressing fire button and moving that around, I can kill certain ghosts. Player 2 would normally do that. And then without the fire button, I control my central character. Now I found a blood goblet. As you can see, this is terribly monochrome. In the bottom left, there is the strength gauge or energy gauge. When it goes down to 0, we're dead, I believe. So go around, collect objects, but it does turn into an exploration game. I would have liked a little bit of colour here. Can't see any reason why there couldn't have been, because the Oliver twins, who did the great Dizzy games, had colour all in those. There's other platform games that do it quite well. Draconis, Chubby Gristle, which we reviewed quite recently. Stay Away from Demons, Heartbroken, which was good. Dan Dare games, and also Tai Chi Tortoise to a degree. So avoid all the enemies of the energy, and I've died, you failed. Well done, Nick. Now I do, oh that's good, I like that bit sinking into the ground. So it's heavily influenced by Ghostbusters, I think. You can change the colour to light blue. Let's see how that plays. Yeah, light blue. Duh, duh, duh. Ghost Hunters! So it's a bit like that game which says Ghostbusters. I do like a good bit of speech in a game. That's probably the best bit of it. Do I prefer it in cyan to red? Well, you can see things a bit better, but I prefer the red of it all. So there's a test tube above me. We'll try and collect that. If we don't do very well this go, we'll put in a cheat for infinite energy to do a bit of exploration to see how far we get. Would I play this a lot as a kid? I don't think so. The gameplay is quite clever, but I find this quite arduous to play. It's not very instinctive. I found a crystal ball, hooray. So essentially, you're in a place full of nightmare demons that pop up every now and again. It's quite cool, some of the enemies that turn up for player 2 to shoot. There's player 2, there's not player 2, that's me. Right, but yeah, progress is slow. Colour is all monochrome, so there are some good bits. It's coded really well, the amount of stuff that's moving on the screen at the same time. I do like that yellow border around the screen. I can see a lot of people liking this back in the day, but it's frustrating me a little bit. Yes, I failed again, so I'll put in a poke there. Ghost Hunters, get ready for the speech. Ghost Hunters. Yes, speech was good back in the day. You could lift the whole game. Professor Twilight, let's go back to red, put a poke in, and then hooray. If you had this one back in the day, let me know. Ghost Hunters. He could have put a bit more effort into it, that person. He's been bundled into recording studio. Say, look, say Ghost Hunters. Ghost Hunters. Yeah, not really like Ghostbusters, is it? Yeah, so if you're into your ghouls and ghosts and all that sort of stuff and things that go bump into the night, you might have got a bit of fun from this one. But talking about that, I would play Ghosts and Goblins, I think. That was monochrome as well, to a degree, but there was some colour here and there. This one, yeah, I'm a little bit bored, actually. I'm frustratingly bored because it's the Oliver twins. You can see what they did with that Dizzy egg. Maybe keeping it simple was best. That demon popping up there is great. Get out the way. Need my shooty man, player 2. Where are you? So overall then, so far, although we've only been playing it a few minutes, cleverly coded, lots moving on the screen at the same time, good graphics at the good bits. Disadvantages is monochrome, this odd firing thing for player 2. It would have been better just to have a gun for player 1 or some Ghostbuster gun or something. Not very exciting. Well, that's pretty much it, really. So we'll see how much of the map I can explore. But I think, yeah, I mean, put a bit of colour on this. It might look pretty special. Must be a reason behind it. It's flickering ever so slightly when we move our character. I do like the jumping. That is quite cleverly coded as well. When you look at the more traditional basic jumping from people like Horace and Manic Miner and Jet Set Willy. So they've gone for frames of animation, and I think the Spectrum struggled memory-wise, so maybe that's why the lack of colour about the place. Yeah, it's impressive for 48K. 1987 Codemasters. I'm not sure this didn't come out on the Commodore Amiga, I don't think. So I think 16-bit would have handled it a little bit better. But I think it's just being overly ambitious with the memory available. Practice takes perfect as all that goes. I think it would have scored quite well back in the day, but I'm just a little bit frustrated. Bit arduous gameplay for myself. Map would have been good like all of these. Oh, would you take a lift on a spider? How does that work? I'm not sure if you actually see Professor Twilight in this, who owns this house. If you're wondering what that weapon is with the crosshairs every now and again that I put on, it's called a subcompact antimatter phantom splatterer. So if you're looking on the dark web for that, good luck. It's better than a plasma beam from Ghostbusters. We have reviewed Ghostbusters on the Spectrum a long time ago, and well, maybe a little while ago, Ghostbusters 2, which is a completely different game. They aren't the greatest games in the world, although Ghostbusters 1 was deemed a classic. We needed a decent 8-bit game. It was alright, but it wasn't super stunning special. The best bit was the speech, which said Ghostbusters, a little bit similar to the way it says Ghost Hunters here. A few games we've reviewed so far, it's got a bit of speech on it. It's always clever when it does do that. You put your favourite one below if you want. I might have reviewed it already. There's a couple of Grand Prix games that I reviewed that had some speech. I think that might have been the Oliver Twins involved in that as well. I need to check that back up. So let's get back on that pillar if we can. Strength not going down at all. The enemy do regenerate if you go off the screen and on, so if you shoot everyone they will turn back up again. Let's just find some different screens, and I think that's where the fun would have lied as a kid, just journeying around to try different bits of the screens. I think I prefer it to Booty, which is a little bit frustrating in the gameplay I suppose. There's lots going on. No music, of course. I don't think you could have done that. And you got the sparse sound effects rotating around. There's a test tube. I think that'll be something for us. Right, so that means we've collected one of those. Good. You have to go around the map collecting all of those, and that will enable you to rescue your brother. And I don't know why he went in here in the first place. Oh, we can climb up. That's clever. Oh, look at that. That shows it's edging towards Prince of Persia, isn't it, really? In 16-bit technology, the amount of like frames they've tried to do to get him to do different things. I wonder what Tomb Raider would look like on the ZX Spectrum. Now, one day, I hope, the Spectrum Next will come out. It's already 2 years late at time of recording. And when that happens, people will be doing games all over the place. Can someone code Tomb Raider? That'll be awesome. But yeah, I won't hold my breath here. Like all these Kickstarter things, I think the project starts off with good intentions, but making a computer or a device seems to be a lot more involved than what the people originally imagined. Yes. Anyway, the Spectrum Next, it might come out. If you're watching this and the Spectrum Next has already come out and you got it, then comment below. You're in the future, I'm in the past. Hooray! Let's jump on here. Okay, so we're not going to complete this game. You might be surprised to hear, or not surprised. Is that a pole we can go up? Yes, let's go up there. This is just seeing how the game played. What did it sound like? And if you own the real computer or emulation, is it worth tracking down? Is it worth tracking down? Not really. Maybe for historic purposes, but there's a lot better platformers to be playing. As I say, if you're watching this, had it back in the day, it might be your favourite platformer of all time. It's all about different opinions, but I haven't got nostalgia for this one. I'm just looking at it as I'm playing it now, which is always a bit tricky, some 30 years after the event. But yeah, I would have played something else. I think it's because without the cheat on it, I would have died quite quickly. Frustration would have set in, and I would have played something maybe a little bit easier. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of difficult Spectrum games that quite often become more fun when you've got a poke of some description, but a lot of the games, especially these type of games, turned out to be like in the nature of Jet Set Willy. You knew you weren't going to complete it, but you just went round exploring to see all different bits and what you could see. And this is in that category, really. I don't think it would be as difficult to complete as Jet Set Willy, because the map can't be nearly as big. But there's some nice elements graphically, animated way, but it's all about the playability, and for me, it's a little bit jerky. I don't feel fully in control of it most of the time. The jumping to certain platforms doesn't seem 100% accurate, but it's clearly laid out what you have to do. Ghost Hunters! There we go. Let's see that suit of armour. That's a crystal ball. It's good that you can have different colours, although it's monochrome, but it's always going to be cyan or red. Why couldn't they have done yellow, green or other colours? They just stuck to 2. I don't think it would have taken out any memory to change those colours. But if this throne had been yellow, it just would have popped out a little bit more, wouldn't it? It just would have popped out a bit more. Or some of the enemies have been different colours, like red background and cyan enemies or something like that. But, you know, there's reasons behind it. I'm not a coder. A coder might comment below why they done it all in the same colour. I presume, to my untrained eye, it is just memory orientated. Maybe to avoid a bit of colour clash as well, who knows. I've found a necklace, great, I'll wear that tonight. No one will take the mickey out of me at all. Hope it looks good. Right, the climbing's good, I do like that animation. That's quite well done. Right, yes, I'm starting to get a bit bored now. Moving ledges, that's a common stalwart on platform games. There we go. Jump, jump. This is good training. Jump, jump. I think we'll leave it here in a moment. Right, I think we will. So I hope you liked having a look at that one. That was Ghost Hunters. Cleverly coded, but playability extremely average. Published by Codemasters in 1987. Oliver Twins. Prefer their Disney games, to be honest with you, but it's an okay platformer. If you've got any comments about this game, similar games, or anything retro, then please put that below. You're always more than welcome. Until next time, take great care of yourself, and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.